Hey guys, it's Brian again, and today we're going to be talking about the 2025 Toyota RAV4 Gas LE all-wheel drive. The simple, bare bones, tried and true RAV, no complications. You got Toyota Safety Sense, Bluetooth, and a backup camera. That's it. So we're going to talk about this car. We're going to take a moment to really appreciate how simple it is, and it's your last year and last chance to get yourself a simple car like this, because I believe, don't hold me to it, but I believe Toyota may be going all hybrid with the new RAV4. Now, to me, that's a great thing. Some people might not be ready. If you really want to keep it just a regular combustion car, now's your chance. And let's check out what this car has to offer. Real quick before we begin, let's take a look at the window sticker. This one's from Canada. It's the LE all-wheel drive. Here's our crash safety stuff. We're looking at about 30 miles a gallon, 34 highway, 27 city, 2.5. We're going to talk about all this stuff. 203 horsepower, 184 torque. This engine's been the same for a while. Not a ton of extra stuff here. We got the blind spot monitor, so that's optional for $590. It also comes with a couple other things here, like the color matching mirrors, the rear cargo area cover, and the all-weather floor liner kit. Pretty standard stuff here. Yes, you can get the RAV4 LE for $590 less if you don't care about the color mirrors and the blind spot. And then here's our MSRP down here at $33. All right, let's start with the outside. So the RAV4, it's come a long way. If you remember the RAV4 from years ago, it was a tiny little itty-bitty Jeepy thing that was two doors, kind of like a convertible too. It was basically what started the small SUV market, and now it's come a long way. This one is in the beautiful midnight black metallic, which has a nice speck of green, blue, and silver, which the camera is probably not going to pick up on. Let's give it a try. Very nice color. Shout out down below if you like black. And you know, the first place I like to start in my videos is the front. So standard on every RAV4, every level, we now get LEDs through a projector. So if you were looking at the 19, 20, and 21, it was actually a reflector that kind of scattered the light everywhere. Now at any level, for the last couple years, you're getting both. If you go with the XLE, this bar here, which is just silver paint, will actually light up, but we're getting this as well, and a great big turn signal. With the SC, they do this in black, and we get an LED turn signal, but we have incandescent here. Simple. There's RAV4s everywhere. It's Toyota's #1 seller for a reason. It's a very easy car to use, easy to get in and out of. It's the jack of all trades. This is a regular 4-cylinder engine. We're going to pop the hood in a minute, so I don't want to go too deep on that. Let's go underneath. Lots of panels, so that helps with the airflow, keeping things clean. This is a non-painted black over here and here as well. That's going to really take the beating for daily driving very nicely. On the XLEs, you used to get the option for fogs. Now you got to go to XLE Premium. Most people don't care too much about that. Let's get a side profile view. Also with the Gas LE, not the Hybrid LE, but with the Gas LE, you're offered plastic wheel caps. We call these hubcaps. So the drawback is, if you're a fan of wheels, it's not going to look super fancy because you have the exposed steel wheel in the back. However, if you're more utilitarian and you don't care too much about stuff like that, and you scratch these up or crack them, they're much cheaper to replace than fixing or replacing an alloy wheel. These are 17-inch rims. This tire size is 225/65 R17, and it's going to be more of an all-season tire. With the all-wheel drive system, if you're up north, you should have no problem driving in the snow. Of course, the body on frame is much more capable, but for regular daily driving, it's great. Now, inside the wheel well, a lot of Toyotas are using this softer material, which is going to really help with the road noise. Let's get a peek at that. There's our suspension setup. Here's the color matching mirror, which is part of that package with blind spot monitor. It also has the integrated turn signal, which is really great for the highway at nighttime. Especially being a black car, you want as much visibility as you can get, so this blinking orange light's really going to help. And these mirrors fold in nice and easily, which is great. They're not electronic, by the way. And if you've never seen a RAV4, I'm very surprised. But if you really haven't, here's what it looks like. It has a slightly boxy, jagged look, not too bubbly like the last generation was, or even close to the previous generation, and has a very snub nose in the front, very flat. I call it a shark nose. Gives it that boxy, trucky 4x4 look. A little bit of a wing in the back. I really hope the camera's capturing away this black sparkles. It's not black sand. It's not as sparkly as Toyota's black sand, but it's very pretty. Of course, black does show the dirt and the scratches easily. Let's get a peek at the suspension back here. More non-painted black all around the perimeter of the vehicle. This is really going to just take the beating when you're kicking up rocks and stuff like that. I do suggest you get some mud flaps when you're buying a RAV4. And onto the back. So one of my favorite things about the RAV4 now since 2019 are these big long tail lights. So these light up red all the way through, and you have a lot of real estate. You know, some of the other cars like Mazda, for instance, their taillights are tiny, even though they look cool with the way they do the sequential stuff. I really like how we have a lot of space here so that at all different traffic dynamics, when part of the car is blocked, you have a higher chance of more of that red showing. And from the side here, we got a lot of red too. I'm big into safety. Here's the indirect light. Yeah, so the red on the taillights is just constantly glowing, whether the taillights are on or off. And dual exhaust at the base level, which is pretty cool. These are little exhaust tips coming from the factory. There's what we're working with. And on the RAV, nothing new here. A fully exposed wiper. Some people make comments that they would prefer the wipers tucked up. One of the benefits though is this is very easy to fix and replace instead of having to go into like a service mode. So that's nice. Some of the RAV4s come from the factory with the black badges. I personally think that the silver badges are very tasteful and they play nicely with the silver on the wheels. But if you want that stealthy look, you'll probably paint these black and go with the black badges. And one quick thing to note, all Toyotas come standard with a version of Toyota Safety Sense. They either have 2.5, 2.0 if it's used, or the 3.0. The RAV4 is coming with Toyota Safety Sense 2.5, so that gives you a sensor behind the front emblem and a camera on the top of the windshield, giving you features like automatic high beams, lane departure alert with steering assist and lane trace assist, a pre-collision system with pedestrian detection, and adaptive cruise control. That stuff's all standard, and if you check out the link for the tutorial in the description down below, you'll see the tutorial on this car or any other RAV4 where we dive deeper into those features. But let's jump under the hood and check out the power plant to the new RAV4. So this new 2025 RAV4, even though nothing's changed, this is a brand new car. This is what the brand new A25A looks like. The RAV4's had the A25A since 2019. It's a 2.5 liter 4-cylinder. No turbo, no supercharger, no hybrid system, basic bare bones, simple Japanese 4-cylinder. And some people really like the simplicity that this offers. There's nothing super complicated here. The oil's easy to check. Fluids are very easy to see and monitor. No complicated systems. Battery is easy to do every 5 to 8 years. Bulbs are easy to get to. This is the way 4-cylinders have been for a while. It's great. And every A25A in the RAV4 is mated to an 8-speed geared automatic transmission, which shifts very nicely, which we'll talk about shortly after this when we go on the test drive. Now for fuel economy on the gas model, nothing great. You're getting around 30. If you went with the hybrid, you're going to be getting around 40. Sometimes people even get into the mid to high 40s. But this exists for a reason, because some people still like to buy into the simple, bare bones gas model car. However, I just want to say again, we all do suspect that Toyota will be going hybrid only with the new 2026, which is going to be a whole complete redesign. So if you're not ready for the hybrid, then now's the time to pull the trigger. However, I would like to take a moment to say, if you're not familiar with the hybrid, do some more research and just really learn about how reliable Toyota hybrids are and see what you think. If you're still stubborn and you want the bare bones, the basic, the lowest price, this is the car. Now let's close the hood, open up the hatchback, and talk about the space. Now on the RAV4 LE, there is no electronic height adjustable hatchback. You just lift it up and you're greeted with 37 cubic feet of space with the back seats up, or 70 cubic feet of space with the seats down. So let's just take a moment to see what it looks like in here, and then I'll fold the seats for you guys. So one of the things that RAV4 buyers really like is when the RAV4 comes with this all-weather liner package, because it covers everything up here with a nice border in case you spill stuff, and it actually velcros to the back of the seats. Now, like I mentioned before, most RAV4s are coming standard with these right out of the factory. Some might not, some will have it. There's 4 D-rings here so you can cling stuff down, ratchet strap, little cubby, 1 little LED light. I think 2 would have been nice, but 1 is all you get. Another one here would have been nice. And a handle on both sides so you can pull this down very easily. But let's fold the seats down and see what the 70 cubic feet of space looks like. There we go. In a matter of seconds, we now have a little baby pickup truck. Tons of space. Let me know what you think. I'm going to fold up these seats, hop in the back, and see what it's like being a rear passenger in this base model RAV. And one thing I want to show you guys is when you're putting the seat up, oh, by the way, you can just cut these out for the hooks for the car seats, and then unvelcro these and hose them down, let them dry out on a hot summer day, and you're good to go. If the seat's not clicked in all the way, you get this little warning thermometer thing to let you know, click it in because it's not safe. And you can also recline it. So you can see this one's reclined a little bit more by holding this up, push it back, and it's more reclined. But I got a little ahead of myself. Let's take a look. So on the back door, hard plastic, just about as hard as we're getting on the pickups. Non-painted door handles and locks. A little bit of a soft spongy material here. A little bit of sandblasted silver just to break up all the black, and one simple bottle holder, nothing crazy for storage. And these iconic Toyota hexagonal symbols. That's not the Walmart symbol, that's a Toyota hexagon. Here's what it looks like inside. The fabric here on the seat, very durable. Let's get a little closer to see this fabric. So you'll have to be in person to witness it, but the fabric they're using here in the seats, you can just tell it's very strong. It's going to last many years. The bolsters are soft. The seats are definitely not super firm. They're comfortable. I've been in the back of many RAV4s all over the place. The seat belts, they click very easy. The buckles don't disappear into a whirlpool to never come back ever again like on some other cars. And the armrest pops right down, and instead of sinking down to the cushion and giving you like an awkward angle like some cars, they stop right here to give you that nice upright position with some heavy duty cup holders, no adjustable arms, just send it. Let's hop in. There we go. Nice big windows. Never claustrophobic in a RAV4. I can see all around me. You definitely don't feel trapped in a RAV. I'd say the armrest is in a decent spot. Down below are Toyota's signature floor mats with the cells that trap fluids if they get stuck in there so they don't slosh around. All we get is a 12-volt plug, no USBs back here, but you can just run a converter if you want to. But nice to see some vents. So there's 2 vents here and then vents on the floor, so I can blast this towards my torso. I can heat up my feet if I get a little cold. And for space, I would say at 5'9", 5'10"-ish, whatever, I probably have 6 to 7 inches, yeah, closer to 7 inches, chilling. If my legs are a little closer, still about 6 inches or so, 7 inches. If you had 4 people that were 6'1", 6'2", your probably knees are going to be around here. It's still doable. It's a similar overhead area as a Camry. So yeah, comfortable with the seat reclined. I could definitely sit in one of these for hours. I could even fall asleep in one of these. I love the recliner feature. Definitely comfortable back here without spending money on a fully loaded luxury small crossover. Speaking of space, let's go into the Copilot seat and see what it's like being in the front. This is what it's like being the co-pilot of the 25 RAV4 LE. Now remember, this is a simple car. No heated seats, no heated steering wheel, just a tool to do a job. Get you back and forth safe and last a long, long time. Still a hard plastic. About the same softness over here for the Front passenger. The RAVs have auto down, auto up all around, which is nice. Non-painted, nothing fancy. A tiny bit more storage. It's just past the watch, nothing crazy. Bottle of water, a little scrambler. Throw your clutch or your wallet in there. I'd probably throw some door sill protectors on here just in case, to keep that rust free from all the scratches from people stepping on it, because people always step on that. The passenger floor mat has some black font instead of the gray like it used to be. Very tasteful. That's going to age much nicer than the white and gray they used to do. It doesn't bolt into the floor, which is a little bit of a bummer, but I suspect they're not going to move around too much. No height adjustment for the passenger, just a recliner and a slider, and that's never going to break. You're going to get 20 years, 30 years out of that and be fine. Let's hop in. Simple tool, lots of visibility, big windshield, mirrors on the doors, glass in the corners, you can see all around you. Nice thin but strong A-pillar. These are very safe cars. I've had some clients get into accidents in these cars, and they did very well. You can open or close the vent. They're pretty easy to aim. Not quite as easy on the Tundra, but once you get to that spot, you're pretty much good. You just gotta feel for it. A little bit of a shelf here with those hexagons again, the little honeycombs. No rubber mat, so stuff's gonna slide. My fiance has the SE hybrid, and stuff slides back and forth and it drives her crazy. So we're probably gonna shop for a little rubber mat to pop in there. Let's check out the glove box. Decent size. Every new RAV comes with 90 days of Sirius radio, pretty cool. There it is. Comment down below if you actually read this thing. I really am interested in hearing how many people open this and read it. This is nice, very spongy, very soft and spongy. A lot better than most other vehicles. Definitely makes the new generation Tacoma look like a joke. You could put a ton of weight on your elbow when you're getting in, and all the way to the back corner, it's just straight sponge. There's no hard spot like you get on some of the trucks. It's nice, feels comfortable. I would say, as a very average height guy, it fits good. I would think if you're really tall, you might have a desired a little bit more support for the femur, but of course it depends on your build. But overall, very nice, and I've obviously been working with these for many years. This is the last year to get something this simple. Let's hop in the driver's seat and go over some of this awesome stuff right over here. And the moment you've been waiting for, getting into the driver's seat of the 2025 Toyota RAV4 LE. They finally upgraded the interior lights with a white LED. Take a look. Nice. I'm gonna miss these cars. Just screams Toyota because of all the simplicity. So identical to the passenger side. Let me just stabilize a little bit more. Identical to the passenger side, all hard plastic. A little bit of sponge. Could be a little bit better, but I'm not complaining because it's an LE. My auto down and up windows all around. Check out the tutorial down below. Same storage. And locking floor mats. Standard on every Toyota is locking floor mats because you never want those to slide under your brake pedal. But for the driver, a height adjuster, up or down, pump action, recliner, and a slider bar. Nothing crazy. The bolsters, very firm. Definitely way firmer than the trucks. If you were to sit in a SE, they even come out further and they're really firm, super firm. So this is gonna hug you really well. If you're on the heavier side and you slide out, these are gonna take some time to break in. Let's do a quick startup just to see what it looks like. Turnkey. I know a lot of you prefer the turnkey. There she is. Foam steering wheel, no leather wrapped, no heated, simple, easy to be porn. The old school chrome emblem, the scratch magnet that catches the light. I mean, look how classic that looks. But the new sandblasted ones that they're putting in most of the Toyotas, they hide the scratches a lot better than this, but I will miss that shing that you got there. Really cool. But speaking of sandblasted versus chrome, I do like on a lot of Toyotas how we're going more of a sandblasted here. Not a lot of piano black, shout out Corollas, and some sandblasted over here, right around the vent, more sandblasted, just to break up the black instead of chrome. Because if we did chrome all around the interior, I feel like that would just take that sunlight and shoot it directly in your face. I'm calling out Chevy and a lot of the American brands. Some brands, they just put so much chrome that you're just getting blinded all the time. I like how we did more of that sandblasted. It's going to absorb that sunlight instead of reflect it, which is doing wonderfully right over here. If this was chrome, that would be blinding me and giving me an ocular migraine. Nicely done. The speedo is digital now, standard, which is really nice. No more dual analog. We still have some analog for the tach on the left, the fuel and the coolant temperature on the right, but we get the beautiful rainbow that was standard on the Corolla hatchback XSEs, some of the higher trim RAVs. Now the rainbow is just standard on every RAV, which is really nice. It's beautiful, it's digital. If I change the drive mode down here, it changes the color of the speedo, so I can get that nice red, which matches the other gauges in sport mode. Normal goes white, eco's green. So that's nice, very easy to use. On the steering wheel, there's some arrows to go through the MID, which is the little multi-information display screen in the middle. Tons of stuff. Check out the tutorial for that. Don't judge the fuel economy on here. This is a car that's never really been driven much. It's brand new. Onto the screen, I have linked down below in the description a separate tutorial for Toyota's new software system that we've had for a couple years, just to keep things concise. Do check that out. I'm running an Apple phone in that tutorial, but the Android phones, they're very similar. So check that out down below. This is one of my favorites, the simple, utilitarian, beautiful rubberized finish. It doesn't get more ergonomic than this. Every click is a different fan speed. For the temperature, check it out. Simple. Here's my air direction. No integration into the screen here with the AC system. Just simple. It's never going to break. If you don't like that feature where the car turns off at the red lights, you can turn it off here. Catch is, you got to push that button every time you start the car. Electronic parking brake will disengage for you when you take it out of park for any reason. And then what I like is when you put it back in park, it re-engages. Really nice. Also a 12 volt and a USB. The RAV4 community has decided that this is a barbecue sauce or honey mustard sauce holder for your nuggies. Pretty neat. Oh, this is just some plastic from the factory. Decent storage. So I'd say halfway to the elbow. Like I showed you before, 2 USBs, those are fast chargers, and a little carpet on the bottom. They make center console safes if you like to store stuff a lot more secure. Yeah, very utilitarian design. But without making this a tutorial, let's put this thing in drive, take it for a spin, and see what driving the last of a special car feels like. Alright, so the engine's warmed up now. Let's give it about 2/3 throttle. It's sufficient. It's not super torquey like the hybrid, but it works. And it's nice to feel the gears. I don't like to do full throttle on a brand new car. I like to respect the new engine because we have not exited the break-in period yet. The visibility is excellent in this car. And being on a TNGA frame, it handles very nice, very low center of gravity. Of course, I suspect with the 2026 it's going to be updated even more. But tons of visibility. I feel very safe. I feel very planted, very confident braking. It's so easy to steer the car with the electronic assist. And with the LCD readout, you know, during direct sunlight, it might be a little tough to read at times, but it's not too bad. It's pretty bright out of the factory. And it handles the turns really nicely. especially for something basic like this. Like I can just kind of move the wheel and it doesn't feel super boaty and high center of gravity. It takes it, which is nice. And from experience, these cars do very well in the bad weather. And that's without being in sport mode. It's a little bit of a screamer. They engineered it that way on purpose to give it a little more of a vocal, aggressive tone. So don't be alarmed when you hear them screaming a little bit when you're getting up to speed. But yeah, let's get back to the store and wrap it up. And there we have it. The 2025 Toyota RAV4 LE all-wheel drive. I think this car is going to be great for somebody who just wants to keep it bare bones. They don't really want to think and worry about a hybrid system. They just want to keep it low-key, easy going, and they don't care about all the bells and whistles. If that's you, this year's your last year to get one. I hope you enjoyed the video. If there's something I missed you wanted me to go over in a little bit more depth, let me know down in the comments. And I just wanted to say, if you liked the video, please give it a like and consider subscribing to the channel, because if you do that, it's going to help me and other people so much. It's going to help the videos get out to people that might enjoy my laid-back, more in-depth style of reviews. This is Brian signing out. I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.